Yo. Welcome back to the channel. So if you're new to the channel and it's your first time watching, um, welcome, first of all. And I know today has been probably an emotional day for a lot of people. And I do have a business call that I have to get on after this. So I'm gonna, instead of like getting really deep into my analysis and stuff like that before the video, I'm gonna just kind of walk you guys through what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for. I'll run through a more bearish scenario where we can see more downside, and I'll also run through a more bullish scenario where we can see upside. If you like the content, the best way to support is to watch the video until the end. YouTube values average watch time over any other metric. You can also engage with the content by liking or commenting your thoughts down below about my analysis. So with that being said, let's get into the video. All right. So AMC, big red day today. And after my video yesterday, I went to the gym like I said I would, and on Twitter, I was getting a lot of sentiment. I was seeing a lot of YouTube comments that had similar sentiment. And it was this real frustration that I was sensing and feeling from the community on Twitter as well as the YouTube comments. Frustration with the price action. Talking about all these people who are making predictions and how their predictions have been wrong and this, that, and the other. Let me be clear here. Well, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But also, the goal of this channel is not to predict the future. I've never predicted anything here. I've given you my take, my technical analysis, based take, I should say. It's based on technical analysis and what I believe is going to happen next. But I'm not here to predict the future. I entered this trade in middle of April, late April, early May, probably in this late April, $10 to $12 range. And I did that based on a fundamental belief, which we can discuss in a different video because this is a technical video. But my fundamental belief in AMC stock, as well as anything else that I ever invest in, I'm not a trader, I'm an investor. Anything else I invest in is based on something that I found to be relevant enough to justify a higher price of an asset. An example of this would be if you were to buy Amazon stock, as I did 5 years ago, with the fundamental belief that the company would be more valuable in 5 years than it was at that point, based on technological factors or market conditions or this, that, and the third, right? So everybody that's in this trade and watching this video right now has a fundamental belief that they're basing their investment on. I would hope they did their own due diligence. And from there, what it's about is having conviction and being able to control and understand your emotions and the emotions that are going on within the play that you're in. And that's what technical analysis is for. It's not to predict the future. It's to play out scenarios and understand what those scenarios implicate emotionally and what creates buyers and sellers. I said this on Twitter in a response to somebody earlier, that over anything else, the thing that determines when someone is going to buy or sell is the price action. And by price action, I don't mean what the price is right now. I mean what the price is and how it got to that place, right? Because AMC at $37 today, right now, or $36.74, whatever, in post market is much different than AMC at $37 in late May when it was running up to $70. I'm sure we all can agree on that, right? So it's price action, right? The sentiment that's tied to price is what makes people buy or sell. And even though everyone in the world that will choose or not choose to buy or sell AMC isn't looking at charts, they are feeling the emotion that is tied to these movements. They are making decisions based on these movements, and they are seeing opportunity in correction, or they're not, right? And technical analysis is just the way to tell that story and understand the feelings that people are having while this is happening. And just for a rough example, if, and I'm not saying that this is my analysis, but if AMC was to come back down and test these lower regions of $30, people who may or may not have who may not have owned AMC going into this may say, wow, I remember when AMC just ran up to $52 in the past few weeks, and now it's back down to this $29. Maybe this is a good buying opportunity for me, right? The people who were inside of this trade, who owned AMC through this entire run and felt this run back down, are scared shitless of $29, to be frank. Excuse my language. They're scared shitless of this if they don't understand why the stock could come back down here. But people on the outside who watch social media takes about AMC and see AMC on the news all the time and everything like that, some of them will say, oh man, it's back down at $30. It's dead. But I would be willing to bet that most of them would look at that and say, $30, that's much cheaper than $52. I'd rather buy here. And that's how sentiment shifts. Again, that's not what I'm saying is going to happen here. But if it does, it doesn't change my conviction. If I didn't, I was buying here at $30. So if it goes back down, then why would I not buy again? And why would I not buy cheaper if I believe in what I'm investing in? I don't know. That's just my sentiment overall when it comes to the emotions in this thing, and people criticizing people like me or anybody else for technical analysis or whatever. I mean, again, I don't predict the future. That's not my job. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. I'm sorry. This definitely isn't what I was planning to talk about in the video, but I think it's important to note. So for those of you guys who stuck around, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching this long. Let's get into the technical analysis. Let's get into what we really need to talk about, which is the sentiment. Okay? Right now, apes are feeling bad. And I believe that this fib retracement of this move is the one that we need to be watching. The reason that apes are feeling bad is because we are at the bottom and have actually even broken slightly the golden pocket, which, as I measure it here from the beginning of this move, if we choose this move, is $37.26. As of right now in post-market, well, let's talk about close because I don't really care about pre or post-market. At close, we have $36.99. So we are below the golden pocket when measured from the $28.91 move to the top of the $52.76 move. You feel that emotion? If you're really involved in this stock, I know you do. I know you feel what I've been seeing on Twitter, right? Let me show you an example of a time. And again, look, before I do that, now the 0.786 retracement, which is $34.01, is now on the table. But look at where our falling wedge that we've been talking about all this time, right? The past 2 weeks I've been talking about this falling wedge. And we continue to trade within it. And whenever we hit the bottom of it, we bounce right up, right? Right now, we're sitting right in the middle. And yesterday in my video on Twitter, I said that because of the anxiety that I'm sensing from apes on Twitter and YouTube comments, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a push to the downside. This is a bearish opportunity. Look at what we got. Dang, I wish I would have done another update after that on YouTube, right? But you guys can go back and watch the video if you want. But let's look back at another time when something like this has happened. So, go back to January. The buy button got taken away, right? What a weird time that was. Nothing could ever match that. Nothing could ever predict what's going to happen after that, could it? And by the way, this isn't me being arrogant. I'm just saying that your conviction and you going out and blaming people, which, by the way, I don't really care about. for me. It doesn't really bother me. I just think it's kind of like crazy that people are people in this community are trying to help people by teaching them technical analysis and how to manage their emotions. And what they're looking for is easy predictions. They're not looking to learn. You have to be willing to learn when you're doing this, okay? This is important. If you learn this stuff, it's going to help you manage your emotions in future trades and be a strong participant in the United States American market, right? So anyway, look at this. From the peak in January, AMC ran all the way down, broke below its 0.786, traded here for a few days. I can only imagine the emotions that were here, right? And then immediately just broke back above and then went up to test its 0.5 fib retracement in a matter of, what's that, a week? So it basically doubled in price. And then it came back down. It broke below its golden pocket again, sucked back up above the golden pocket, and then broke back down below it again. Never came back down to test the 0.786, and then broke back up. Look at all these stopping points along the way. The 0.5, which is $11.16. The 0.382, which is $13.35. You can see price curling around. Breaking does not mean that you justify that easy move to the next spot. These are just zones that traders are looking at to determine when to enter and when to exit the trade based on what they believe will be the emotions tied to that Fibonacci break. Let's look at our current move on a more macro scale. And you can measure this a few ways. And all of these levels are going to be significant no matter where you measure them from. Up until now, we had been testing the 0.5 Fibonacci going into today, which is $38.99. If you measure from the bottom of this move after the January sell-off due to the buy button being taken away, we were testing this 0.5. We were trading above it and below it, right? A lot of price action on this line, you can see. And now we have significantly broken below. This is what bear traps are made of, okay? Just like I illustrated here, right? In the January run. This is multiple days below this golden pocket, and then you can just see price correct back and respect it, right? Alongside this, we are in a falling wedge, which is a bullish reversal pattern. For the purposes of this video, I'll change the color of it to something that's a little bit more distinguishable. The rest of the lines on the chart. Oh my goodness, what did I just do? Take away the fib. Oh my goodness. Pre-workout. And I'll be honest with you. Well, I'm always being honest with you. That one guy, he was like, makes me think you're not being honest when every other time when you say to be honest with you. But just pretend like this is the golden ratio again, okay? Because I'm not going back and changing it right now. Look at where this thing ends. This falling wedge ends at the 0.786, $33.96, okay? Bears are having a field day, man. But what I'll tell you right now is that volume is lowering. And when price goes down, while volume goes down, that is a bullish signal. That is what happens in falling wedges. Volume becomes anemic. Because what's happening is bulls are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the next move. Okay? That's all that's happening here. So if this thing breaks below here and goes down and tests a 0.786, and I'll illustrate this to you using a path. Are you still on board? Are you still on board for this? Or is your conviction over now? Don't use me to determine whether or not you believe in the play that you're in. You made the decision to enter this play. And so you can learn things along the way if you want to, or you can be dismissive of those who are offering value to the community and saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Today was the first day that I updated on YouTube in the past 2 weeks and have been wrong about the next day's prediction. And before today, because yesterday in YouTube I said that I saw upside coming. And I did. But when I saw the sentiment coming back from you guys in comments and tweets, that's when I made that Twitter video yesterday evening, and said, oh, I see the Bulls' attitude right now. The Bulls are getting frustrated. They're getting tired of this boring, slow, work your way down. They're getting mad at all the people that they follow on Twitter that are telling them to look at the chart and what analysis is going on. All the while, I've been talking about this falling wedge for weeks. I think that regardless of what happens in the next few days, well, I know that I'm going to still be in this play. And I know that something big is cooking up underneath the surface of this, okay? This is why Citadel is tweeting about January and talking about the buy button being taken away all of a sudden. They haven't tweeted since this all happened. Literally, I think their last tweet was like January 27th or something. And then they tweeted last night. Do you think that there's not a catalyst that could be coming out about this? You don't see the catalysts happening before they happen. They just happen. And then suddenly, the sentiment shifts. Guess what? If we come back down and we double bottom here, I'm still in. And guess what? If we go below $29 and we go test 25 or whatever, I'm still in, and I'm waiting. And to be honest with you, I think it would create an even larger explosion on the top of this thing. It's just a matter of time. So hey, I gotta go prepare for this call, get ready for that. But in the meantime, well, later today, I think I am gonna make maybe another few videos, because there are a few theories that have been presented to me by a few people on Twitter and stuff that I want to go over that kind of align with other potential scenarios that I've talked about. But I just wanted to generally talk about the sentiment. I wanted to say that 2 weeks ago, when I made that Mother of All Bear Traps video, or however long ago it was, I was basing it on this falling wedge. Guess what? We're still here. Nothing has changed. So, if you enjoyed the video, I appreciate you dropping a like on it. Make sure you comment your thoughts. Tell me what you think about all of the things discussed in this video. And I know this wasn't as in-depth of analysis as we usually do about everything going on, but I just thought that it was important that you guys understood how to connect technicals to the emotions and the sentiment that's going on. Because, sorry, I'm really full, so I'm kind of uncomfortable when I'm talking this much, but you know, those muscle building diets, they're tough. But you know, I just wanted these lines aren't just like lines. Like, this isn't some sort of like magic science or something like that. These lines represent emotion. These candles represent emotion and what people are feeling when something is going on with the price action. So that's basically it. Falling wedges with decreasing volume are bullish. I hope you enjoyed the video. You have a good rest of your day, and maybe I'll post something else before tomorrow's trading day. But if not, please have a wonderful night. Don't think about this stock after this video. And until next time, take it easy.